Hi, Ubeda. Sorry for mispronouncing your name if I do. Sorry about the delay too, because we have been really swamped by essays lately, so that caused the huge backup. So now let's have a look at your essay about transportation of food items and the academic task one about shoe sales. Alrighty. So the task says that food travels thousands of miles from producers to consumers. Some people think it would be better for the environment and economy if people only ate the local food. But to what extent do you agree? Let's see. I can see that you have highlighted certain words. I wonder why. But maybe you will tell me in the next email you send me. So let's go. Experts throughout both the developing and developed world have debated whether consuming locally grown food or imported food is better for the planet and benefits more the economy. All right, nice start. I can see you're using the C2 template, which is great. You're practicing using learning very efficient patterns, but still we have to make sure that everything is in place. Whether consuming locally grown food, locally grown or imported food, right? You don't really need to repeat the word food because locally grown will modify this word food here. And which one, I would say, and which one benefits the economy more? I strongly agree that sourcing one's products locally bestows more benefits economically and environmentally. Impressive sentence. I just love the way you use language here. Impressive. Way to go. This essay will discuss the ecological and profitable advantages of consuming food farmed by regional agriculturists. Okay, I should. Yes, that's a word. Using examples from the UK government to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Yes, very, very good. And you're sure that agriculturist is a word, right? I would go and check it in the dictionary right now, but I don't want to waste your time now. Okay, just make sure that all the words you use do exist because I'm not sure I've recently heard the word agriculturist, just that. Okay. A very good introduction. You present the dilemma very well. You use language to advantage. You are very clear, very coherent. You announce the logic of the essay quite appropriately. Let's go on. Firstly, there's ample evidence that consuming food grown regionally is advantageous for the natural world. Great way of saying for nature or environmentally. The central reason behind this is twofold. Yes, firstly, transporting goods over very short distances means that fewer greenhouse gases and carbon emissions are expelled into the atmosphere and thus better quality of the air. Oh, and thus the quality of the air, let's say, stays better because there's a verb missing in here. Secondly, as greenhouse emissions trap solar radiation and eventually cause global warming, when reducing such level of gases, the devastating environmental issue is mitigated. Impressive use of vocabulary, impressive. You never repeat yourself. You use the best topical vocabulary possible for this theme, but we can make it even better. Look at this, and eventually cause global warming. Reducing such level of gases, by reducing such level of gases, this devastating environmental issue can be or will be mitigated. Just change a couple of tenses and say by instead of reducing, instead of when, and remove this comma. For example, recently empirical research by the UK government demonstrated that local food markets pollute 60% less than the global ones. Okay, though I would challenge you and ask you, what do you mean by the global food market? Do you mean this abstractly, or do you mean this as a specific place? Because if you speak about pollution, in my mind, I have the picture of something very, very physical, very concrete. But when we say the global market, on the contrary, we think of something abstract. So this can create a bit of ambiguity. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that consuming locally farmed vegetables and meat is environmentally friendly. Yes, exceptional concluding sentence, perfectly developed paragraph, great use of language and vocabulary, of language in general, vocabulary in particular. Some corrections, as I said, are needed here and there just to improve the flow and the grammatical accuracy of the sentences. Great, let's go on. Secondly, local food system improves the economic development of the country. What do you mean by system? I'm not sure what you mean. Do you mean local food production? Because the word system doesn't tell me much here. I have to stop and think, what exactly do you mean by this? This is largely because it benefits regional farmers who may expand the local business or invest in setting up a new one. All right. This, in turn, a comma after in turn, might create new job opportunities to residents who otherwise would be forced to emigrate to make ends meet. Very nice development, very nice turn. I really like the I really love the way where you're leading this. For instance, if the majority of consumers prefer to consume locally farmed products, there would be more demand for these, and therefore more national profit would be generated. Yes, the plural is okay, along with more job vacancies. Yes, perfect. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt that by promoting national economy and social employment opportunities, the economy of the country would flourish. Okay, I would say there's a slight confusion in here because you started with the idea of locally grown food, right? But you're concluding on promoting national economy. So perhaps you should revisit the idea of locally grown food. So why not say that by promoting local food production, um, that by promoting local food production, the national economy and social employment opportunities improve. Well, no, you have economy twice. Social employment opportunities improve the economy of the country or help the economy of the country flourish. So I would suggest you get rid of this economy and really make sure that the concept of locally grown food is very visible. From the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that regional food consumption clearly bestows more benefits in terms of the ecosystem and the economy of the nation than consuming goods that are grown and sold in distant places. I wouldn't use the word distant. It doesn't really collocate with the context you have here. You can say and sold with the food that is imported, that is grown and hence imported from distant places. I would say I would put it like this, just to use the expression distant places to advantage. One more thing, bestows more benefits. I think you used this in the introduction. Try not to reuse the same great expression. This is a great, complex, sophisticated expression, but don't use it again because it looks like you don't have enough vocabulary. I see that you do, but it doesn't really look wonderful for your style. It is predicted that the former model of agriculture will increasingly grow in importance due to the numerous benefits it brings. Okay, the only thing is that I object to is this categorical is. Why not say it could be predicted? Let's hedge this. There's the thing called hedging that is softening the how categorical your opinion sounds. And if you say it could be predicted, your conclusion comes one step closer to perfection. So This is an exceptional essay. I really love the way you use language, both vocabulary and grammar. Your accuracy is almost exceptional. Your range is impressive. I can see that you rarely repeat yourself. You use the vocabulary precisely almost all of the time. Your coherence and cohesion is very, very good. It's almost always very easy to understand you, but mind the corrections that I have mentioned. And you answer the topic perfectly. So your task achievement is quite on the level. Now let's have a look at task one answer. That's about shoe sales, brown and black leather shoe sales in European countries. Shoe sales of three types. This is weird. They probably have a mistake in the visual because it's brown and black leather. So this is weird. The bar chart represents the number of purchases of both brown and black leather shoes in 8 European nations in 2018. I wouldn't say nations, I would say countries, because nation and country are somehow synonymous, but not perfectly synonymous. Focusing firstly on the nations where a greater number of black leather shoes were sold, Hungary and Italy sales were broadly similar. I would say sales in Hungary and Italy were broadly similar at around 140,000. Thousand what? You can come up with a currency and over 110,000. Oh, that's about shoes, beg your pardon, that's not about prices. And over 110,000 shoes, respectively. Okay, purchases of black colored leather shoes in the United Kingdom and Belgium reached exactly 100,000 for the former and just above 100,000 for the latter, comma, where figures for black leather shoes were over 9 times that of the brown. No. If you write like this, it looks like a family name. No. That of the brown ones, let's say, in 2018. Very good highlights, very good use of structures, language structures for reporting data. Everything is quite clear. Just mind a couple of of a word order suggestions that I've just mentioned and fix this browns here, as I said. Turning to the remaining European countries, where a greater number of brown leather shoes were purchased, figures for Poland, Germany, and France stood at around 140,000, nearly 135,000, and almost 70,000 respectively. Okay, so you are, yes, tracing these amounts respectively, in a parallel way. These figures nearly doubled that of the black colored shoes. I would say their sales of the black colored shoes in the same country, because that doesn't make it a very clear reference word here. Meanwhile, Ireland and Holland sales were precisely at 100,000 and less than 100,000 respectively. Okay, I would say at. I like at this mark. You can also say at the mark of. Overall, in 2018, the countries, not counties, that bought the highest numbers of brown and black leather shoes were Hungary and Italy, with preferences for the black over the brown. Okay, no capitalization, no plural, otherwise it looks like family names. Whereas France and Holland purchased the least number of shoes and clearly preferred the brown leather footwear over the black. Okay, so perhaps the only problem that I see here is the referencing, like the use of the word that in here, some word order, and the constant referencing of black and brown leather shoes. So you might want to think about synonyms like footwear, or you really have to be careful not to spell the black and brown leather shoes reduced to only color the wrong way. So this is a very good task one answer. You have clear logic, correct highlights. You don't add too much detail. You highlight and emphasize the appropriate facts and data, and well, what remains is only the minor errors that I have just identified. I must tell you, you have exceptional language command and great style and tone. So keep up the good work, and I'm looking forward to more essays from you. All the best of luck.